All right. Thanks to all of you who made it back in time for James's stellar keynote and this incredible panel, and for those of you who were trying. So great to have you all back here. We're going to switch it up for you a bit now. It is my honor to introduce you to one of my favorite humans on the planet, who a little over a decade ago, I ran into him, I was introduced to him, and he said, I'm working with young men coming out of the juvenile institutions and integrating them back into community with music. And I said, what? And I've been in with him ever since. Please welcome Daniel Pak.
When I first arrived in Seattle to start my freshman year at UW, the only landmarks I could name were the Space Needle and the Kingdom. Coming from Oahu, I knew a little bit about Seattle. It rained a lot. You could get fresh fish at Pike Place Market. I absolutely loved the Mariners, Seahawks, and Supersonics, and of course, the music. One historic landmark I didn't know of when I first arrived that I now affectionately consider a second home is King Street Station. Built in 1906 and for decades the main portal to Seattle, the historic landmark train station, smack dab in the heart of downtown, is iconic and unmistakable, with its glorious clock tower reaching up to the sky, often taking center stage to any view of the city's skyline. Today, King Street Station is the home of Amtrak, the Seattle Office of Arts and Culture, and now Station Space, a creative youth empowerment hub which includes the brand new 2,000 square foot world-class recording studio and home of Totem Star. Totem Star was founded in 2010 when the opportunity to mentor 10 young men just released from juvie was offered to Thaddeus Turner and me. Thad and I had been teaching music together for a few years, and when the Juvenile Rehabilitation Administration came knocking at our door, we answered. From July to August, we spent 250 hours in a tiny recording studio at Rainier Community Center in South Seattle, building trust with these young men, and producing an entire mixtape of music. We started with 10 and ended with 10. But when we checked in with the guys 2 weeks after the program had ended, we found out that a third of them had been rebooked into detention. And that was the moment that Thad and I realized this was our calling. The universe calling on us to ensure young people had a safe space to make music, take creative risks, collaborate, and build a loving community in the process. A safe space where aspiring young musicians could bring their best self, their worst self, or any self in between, and always be received with love. Because that's what Totem Star is founded on, love. Now in 2023, we celebrate the opening of our new world-class recording studio and home at this historic landmark train station. A massive win for arts and culture in Seattle, and a blueprint for cities around the world to build thriving music ecosystems, all in support of aspiring young artists. The future is in the hands of the youth, and our job is to champion their voice, their stories, and their music. Trains are leaving King Street Station every hour in every direction. Wait until you see where we're going.
What's up, Boise? Thank you so much to Kate and for Michael Bracey to bringing us together today for this amazing summit, the intensive yesterday. I only got, I think, 15 minutes. If you gave me an hour, maybe I might be able to stay on time, but we gotta do what we gotta do. I've been listening a lot. I was in the intensive yesterday where we all sat together, 5 back-to-back sessions. And we talked about a variety of topics, anywhere from youth engagement to why the Cascadia corridor, to touring and the state of the live music industry, all the way to public policy and government, and how do we connect to that. And I would say with confidence that Totem Star is a decent case study in the intersection of all those different topics. And so for this really short, conversation I want to have with you all, I want to try to weave all those topics into it. But with respect to Totem Star artists and also the artists in this room, I notice there's a lot of artists, and I think that's a beautiful thing, is for you all to be here and to hear all these stories from all these folks who've been working hard every day of their lives for years and years and years, because we're all trying to figure out that puzzle. And I think that puzzle is strongest when we put together all of our regions together, so it's important. Totem Star is a place where young people come, like I said, like in the video, sometimes they bring their best self, their worst self, every self in between, but they are always received with love. Totem Star was founded on love. And Totem Star is all about mentorship. Mentorship of the complete human being. We talked a lot about humanity today. And Totem Star is all about that. When we sit with the artists, whether it's in the studio, whether it's in a production session talking about EQ and compression and how you stack vocal tracks and how you pan your guitars and your keyboards to the left and the right, whether we're talking about how to equitably amongst yourselves figure out your split sheets so that everybody can be honored for their intellectual property, whether it's about bringing them on the road, taking them to the show, being their tour manager, being their artist manager, whether it's actually taking them to testify in front of city council, to get Seattle City Council to vote unanimously 9 votes to 0 to give Totem Star and the rest of the station space partners a 60-year lease at King Street Station. I think it's always important, like my elders, my ancestors have always told me, Pak, when you enter any room, your ancestors are standing right with you. And so right on this stage, as I speak to you all, my grandma's here, my grandpa's here, my great-grandma, she worked real hard. She's over there on that chair. My great-grandfather, who traveled all the way from Korea in 1905, he's over there chilling. They're all smiling. They're all with us today. But like that, I want to bring some Totem Stars into the room. And the first sort of artist I want to bring in is Cobb. You've seen him in the video. Cobb graduated from Cleveland High School. He discovered Totem Star when he was 16 years old. Amazing rapper, amazing storyteller, great athlete. You can tell he has this like sense of uber focus, and whatever he's working on, he's just focused, right? So a young person coming to the studio like that, our job was just to, fire up Logic, take his beats, really encourage him to give the best vocal takes. And that's hard because sometimes you got to give young people really critical feedback. And to be honest, Totem Star, I was talking to Reese about this last night, but Totem Star is not in the business of coddling. We're in the business of encouraging, sure. But if we know you can do better, we would be at fault if we didn't tell you our honest opinion, how you could be better, and the steps you could take to get there. I mean, if you think about it, really, like these cell phones in front of our hands already coddle the entire generation of young people, where it's like if things get too hard, no matter what it is in life, whether it's school or work or social media, if things get too hard, it's so easy to just swipe right and quit, right? And try something new. Well, we don't want that at Totem Star. We want young people to face the challenge. We want our young people to fail. Because only if you fail, you have an opportunity to pick yourself back up again. So Cobb is an example of an artist who's come a long way. He came with so much confidence, and he was already a badass rapper. So he almost had this kind of chip on his shoulder, like, just record my vocals. That's all I need you to do for me. But we taught him a lot about life. We taught him a lot about patience. We taught him a lot about empathy. We taught him a lot about, just like I teach my own 14-year-old, the world doesn't revolve around you, bro. And that all said, Cobb has come a long way. He is the definition of a Totem Star artist that's gone through the entire experience. From coming as a 16-year-old, recording multiple records, putting them out, he would even go ahead and get his homies to make his own music videos, and he dropped them without even letting us know. All of a sudden, Cobb has a new music video. I'm like, oh, that's the song we just worked on last week. He already was working on a video. Wow, just like incredible work ethic. And to the point where, part of what Totem Star does is we don't just record artists, and now we have this crazy studio. I mean, if next time you're all in Seattle, please just hit me up and I'll give you a personal tour. It's a thing to see. But we book them for live performances as well. And we've partnered with some amazing organizations, amazing festivals, amazing venues, and our young people have gotten to go on the radio. In fact, just a month ago, Mirabai was on the radio with KXP. We did a big little special with DJ Miss Ashley. I know there's a bunch of KXP folks in the room, so we love you, KXP. We also partner with amazing organizations like Seattle Theater Group, who puts on an annual festival at the end of summer called Thing. It's in Port Townsend. Lil Yachty was one of the headliners this year, and STG, through working directly with Totem Star and the Residency and 206 Zulu, all amazing youth-serving organizations in Seattle, we got to collectively curate this incredible Pacific Northwest hip-hop lineup that was in this theater that I'm telling you, it was after the Lil Yachty show, and that theater, it was about the same size as this room. It was sold out. It was packed. And when the artists were backstage looking out from the curtain, like, are you fucking kidding me? And there were kids in the front row right here that were just going ham. I mean, and I swear I was just, it was such a proud moment. In that moment, my role was their tour manager. I made sure they had water. I made sure they had food. I made sure they knew what these artist wristbands did. They could not believe it when I said, no, your artist wristband is even a step higher from a VIP wristband. You can get anywhere. Watch. They got backstage at Lil Yachty. It was crazy. So but this is all part of the education, helping these young artists navigate spaces that they would never think they could access. Like, we let them know. You see that curtain right there? That curtain may seem to be off limits, but to an artist, that is your passage. That is your channel. That is your portal. That's how you get backstage so that you can take care of yourself so that when you get on this stage, you give your best performance. That is your door. Doors open. So that all said, another thing that I'll share, so we talked about youth engagement. We talked about the state of live music. I mean, our young people are always asking, how can they do more shows, right? So it's part of our job to empower them with that power. And so at Totem Star, we put together this group of young people that we call the Totem Star Leadership Collective. In fact, they started it themselves. We really had no say. They decided they wanted to create this advisory board that sits under our board of directors. They show up at every board meeting, and they participate in this ongoing dialogue with our board about, I'm almost out of time, that basically allows them to help curate program, policy, procedures, everything. Now they're booking shows. And one last thing I'll say before, is it okay if I sing a song for you all? It's Music Policy Forum. We've been talking about policy, we've been doing this forum, a little bit of music, right? But the last thing I'll share was, in the video, you might have seen that scene in City Council chambers, but when Cobb testified in front of City Council, you should have seen the look on his face when he was done. I mean, it was life transforming for him. His voice mattered, and he spoke to City Council, and when they passed that lease ordinance, I mean, it was just an emotion. We were all just emotional wrecks, I'm beginning to feel that emotion. But then the 2 weeks later, he gave a speech at our grand opening at King Street Station. And I mean, to watch him on stage, I mean, that's just, and today, he is one of our lead program coordinators. He just got promoted. Because in the last 2 years, we hired 7 new staff members, 6 of them, all former artists from Totem Star. And the funny thing is when he was when we brought him in to talk about 2024 budget and deliberation on he said, "Could I change my title?" And we're like, "Well, what you want to be?" He's like, creative director. It's like, whoa, bro, that's a big jump. But anyway, he's working full time in 2024, so Cobb is doing amazing. If it's okay, I thought I would sing a song for you all. And I want to dedicate this song to all the crew from Keep Music Live in the room, because we'll never forget that moment. This place, it's so magical. You can dream, find joy, satisfy your heart's desires. Everybody's putting on costume, yeah. I hope the world cools down, 'cause we're about to play with fire. Is it the happiest place on earth? Will all my dreams come true? Wake me up, show me the way, 'cause baby, I'm about to fall for you. 'Cause it's a small, small world after all. We've traveled far, 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 all we lost. It's a small, small world after all. Hey, I hope that you find your way home. I hope that you find your way home. I raced through the crowd to you. You set me free by reminding me that things aren't always as they seem to be. I once had my head stuck in a fantasy. I had to have it all. I was about to fall. Like you, I know I'm just an animal, and we've got to be free. And so I'm heading back to the jungle. Would you set me free? Set me free. Yeah. It's a small, small world after all. We've traveled far, 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 all we lost. It's a small, small world after all. Hey, I hope that you'll find your way home. I hope that you find your way home, 'cause it's a small, small world after all. We've traveled far, 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 all we lost. It's a small, small world after all. Yeah, I hope that you find your way. Hope you find your way. Hope you find your way home. I said, I hope that you find your way. I hope you find your way. I hope you find your way home. I said, I hope that you find your, hope that you find your, hope that you find your way home. I hope that you find your, hope that you find your, hope that you find your way home. I said, I hope that you find your way home. I said, I hope that you find your way home. I said, I hope that you find your way home. I said, I hope that you find your way
Hope that you'll find your way. Hope that you'll find your way home. Oh. I hope you find your way home.
My name is Daniel Black. Aloha. Thank you for having me.